Potato.
This is 7 Sydney Afternoon News with Sally Bowry.
Good afternoon, it's 4 o'clock and these are the stories making headlines right now. Violent scuffle. A photographer is attacked at a media conference held by Senator Fraser Anning in Cronulla. Police have charged a 19-year-old man, coming up what sparked the ugly scenes. The country's leaders make more big spending promises on the campaign trail as the PM faces heat over a preference deal with Clive Palmer. Prince William spends time with victims' families and survivors of the Christchurch mosque massacres. And revelations: the Sri Lankan bomber who studied in Melbourne was the focus of an Australian terror investigation. First at 4, violence has broken out at a media event held by Senator Fraser Anning in Cronulla, the scene of race riots in 2005. A 19-year-old man was arrested by police after a photographer was punched and shoved. The shocking attack caught on camera. Brian Seymour has the details.
A 19-year-old man has been charged with assault and intimidation following a violent altercation at a Fraser Anning press conference at Dunningham Park, the scene of the infamous Cronulla riots. Around 10 a.m. this morning, after the press conference broke up, a young man was heard to say something to a female reporter from the Daily Telegraph. Her cameraman, as you can see in this footage, then tries to get his photo and a violent scuffle ensues.
It was after I heard about it. I didn't see it. I'd left the area by that time. I've heard about it since. I don't know what the lead up to it was, so I can't really comment. I've never advocated for any violence at all.
People should be able to go to work, whether you're a photographer or anyone else, and not be subjected to that sort of violence. And I find it absolutely appalling.
This video was filmed by another journalist from the AAP media network. The young man was brought here to Sutherland Police Station inside for nearly 4 hours here at Cronulla, south of Sydney. When he came out, bedlam broke out yet again as he tried to evade the waiting media. Fraser Anning was today holding the press conference to introduce candidates for his newly named Conservative National Party in the upcoming federal election. The Daily Telegraph photographer who had his shirt torn is, we're told, physically okay. The young man charged with his assault will appear in court at a later date.
Brian Seymour reporting there. The federal leaders have been out making more big campaign pledges. The coalition was today focused on jobs, while Labor made a record funding announcement to tackle family violence. Olivia Leeming is travelling with the Labor leader.
After pausing for Easter and Anzac Day, the leaders are ramping up their campaigns with more spending promises as they prepare to face off in their first debate. Bill Shorten has returned to Melbourne, making his pitch to female voters. He's pledged more than $300 million extra to tackle domestic violence, double the coalition's commitment.
What you need is practical help. You need real money.
As Scott Morrison targets tradies. In central Queensland, pledging $60 million for regional apprenticeships. He'll go head-to-head with Bill Shorten on Monday in Perth in a debate hosted by 7 News and the West Australian newspaper. Mr Shorten denies he's running away from other debate invitations from the ABC and Channel 9.
He doesn't want to have them in the last 2 weeks of the campaign.
We've got 2 debates. Let's see how they go. I'm open to doing more.
While Scott Morrison is feeling the heat over a preference deal between the coalition and Clive Palmer, whose party's on track to return to Parliament in force.
We're not supporting it. We're supporting the Liberal and National parties.
Former Prime Minister John Howard says the deal is not unusual.
It is a perfectly normal, natural thing in election campaigns for parties to talk about the exchange of preferences.
This is a marriage of convenience between an ad man and a con man.
Despite reports, Labor power brokers called Mr Palmer twice in the past fortnight to discuss preferences, Bill Shorten insists no formal negotiations have taken place. Clive Palmer is expected to confirm his preference deal with the coalition on Monday, boosting Scott Morrison's chances of holding on to the key marginal seats he needs to retain government.
And on Monday, exclusive to 7, the leaders will go head-to-head, Scott Morrison and Bill Shorten. Your questions answered live at 7 p.m. on 7/2 Eastern Time. Prince William is wrapping up his tour of Christchurch as the city attempts to heal in the wake of the last month's mosque attacks. The Duke of Cambridge has met with survivors and victims' families, delivering a very personal message of hope. Robert Ovadia is there.
It's been a busy couple of days for the Duke of Cambridge, but there's absolutely no doubt New Zealanders are appreciative given the large-scale tragedies this country has endured in recent times. Last month's Christchurch massacre is, of course, why Prince William is here, and today he visited both mosques targeted by the Australian gunmen. 42 of the 50 victims were killed at Al Noor Mosque, and William spoke there with survivors and also the families of those who did not make it.
I've had reasons myself to reflect on grief and sudden pain and loss in my own life. And in my role, I've often seen up close the sorrow of others in moments of tragedy, as I have today.
An Australian woman was there today. Her youngest brother, Muqad Ibrahim, was also the youngest victim of the atrocities. He was only 3.
It means a lot on behalf of the Muslim community. It means a lot.
New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern joined the Prince. She was wearing a headscarf as a mark of respect.
Such an important member of the royal family has come to convey a message on their behalf, and that message has been a strong and powerful one.
Earlier today, William spoke with 4 survivors at Christchurch Hospital, as well as doctors and nurses who saved lives that day. And late this afternoon, the Duke was not only able to meet fans, but also laid a wreath in memory of victims from the 2011 Christchurch earthquake. That killed 185 people, reinforcing just how much people on New Zealand's South Island have endured in the past decade. And William can fly out certainly knowing he has lifted spirits here at a time when this community really needs it.
To breaking news this afternoon, counter-terrorism police are conducting an operation in Melbourne's north where a man has been arrested. The suspect was reportedly detained near a Catholic church on Queensbury Street. Police have stressed that there is no current threat to the community and are continuing to monitor the situation. Shocking new details are emerging about the identity of a Sri Lankan terrorist who previously studied in Australia. It's been revealed he was the subject of an Australian terrorism investigation after he was linked to notorious Islamic State recruiter Neil Prakash. Hugh Whitfield reports.
Abdul Latif Jamal Mohammed captured on security cameras about to become Sri Lanka's 7th suicide bomber in just a few hours on Easter Sunday. He had hoped to target the luxury Taj Samudra Hotel in central Colombo, but his bomb failed. When he took it back to this downmarket guest house, it exploded, killing him and 2 innocent people.
I can confirm, based on the advice that we have received, that it was a locally based Islamic terrorist organisation that we believe is responsible.
This is the bomber as a child, a music lover and a funny boy, his Auckland-based sister has told the Daily Mail, before Mohammed spent 4 years in Australia studying technology at Melbourne's Swinburne University. But she says, "My brother became deeply religious while he was in Australia. He had become really angry and totally crazy." Mohammed had come to the attention of Australian counter-terrorism authorities who launched an investigation, fearing he had made contact with Neil Prakash, the Melbourne-born Islamic State terrorist right now in jail in Turkey and accused by Australia of being an IS recruiter. This is where Abdul Mohammed lived, in a relatively wealthy part of Colombo behind heavily fortified walls with his wife and family. His grandfather was a successful tea merchant who left Abdul Mohammed a property portfolio, and it fits the profile of the other terrorists here in Sri Lanka. They were all from well-to-do backgrounds and well-educated.
Hugh Whitfield reporting there. Police are urging drivers to take care after a horror 2 days on the state's roads. 6 people have lost lives since Operation Go Slow began on Wednesday. Cameron Price has the latest.
Well, this is just one of a number of RBTs right across the city today. A blitz targeting drink drives in response to a horror few days on our roads. The latest death just outside Orange yesterday afternoon, a passing motorist discovering the scene of the single vehicle crash that claimed the life of a 52-year-old man at Victoria, bringing the road toll to 6 since the long weekend began on Wednesday.
No family deserves to have their loved ones die like that. So far in New South Wales, 132 people have died on our roads. That is 13 more than the same period last year. We will not be tolerant of any offences that occur on our roads.
Authorities admit they will be out in force over the next few days to try to drive the message home and are pleading with people to take care on our roads with double demerit points to remain until midnight Sunday.
Angie Asmus joins us now, and Angie, there's a cool change on the way.
So, good afternoon. Yes, it's been a chilly day across the southeastern states, and we'll feel the effects of that here in New South Wales tomorrow. Right now, though, well, there's no sign of that drop in temperature. In fact, the beach looks pretty close to perfect at Cronulla this afternoon. The ocean temperature is still 22 degrees. The reason is warm west-northwesterly winds. They're running at about 20 kilometres per hour at the moment, and they are contributing to the unseasonable heat today. In the city now, it is still 28 degrees. What we're watching, though, is a cold front in the south. That's producing damaging winds, rain and alpine snow across southern Victoria and Tasmania. For us so far, the only impact has been strong winds in the snowy mountains in that yellow patch there. But as it gets closer, we will notice a significant change tomorrow. That will trigger strong winds right along the state's coastline, along with big surf. To go with the gusty conditions, it's going to be a cooler night too. Single digits in our western suburbs, with a very chilly start at Katoomba, dipping to just 5 degrees. No sign of that right now. It is still 26 degrees on the beach at Bondi. Feels closer to 20 though. Even warmer at Parramatta, 28 degrees at the moment with an apparent temperature of 24. The cool change won't last long. In fact, it will start to warm up again from about Sunday. Your local 7-day forecast soon, Sal.
OK, thanks for that, Ange. Still to come in Sydney's afternoon news on 7, a former US police officer takes the stand explaining why he shot dead Australian woman Justine Damon-Ruzcek. And taking on Trump, Joe Biden's warning to Americans as he enters the 2020 presidential race.
Oh, man.
Fast Ed will get you fed.
That smells amazing.
In a massive Foodie Friday. Delicious baked biscuits in just 10 minutes.
They are absolutely brilliant.
And the most extraordinary Italian delicacy you'll ever taste.
That is absolutely spectacular.
On New Better Homes, tonight at 7 on 7.
Allcastle Homes have been building quality, affordable new homes for over 25 years. Build a double-storey 4-bedroom home with garage starting at $199,950 on your land. Includes standard site costs and basics. Make it home with Allcastle Homes.
If disaster strikes your home, you might have to move back in with your parents. Luckily, with Amy Home Insurance, you can sleep easy knowing you're covered. That's not very insurance-y.
New Dove Nourishing Secrets. Inspired by beauty rituals of real women, combining nature-inspired ingredients with Dove's effective nourishment. An irresistible experience for your shower, hair and skin. Try Dove Nourishing Secrets.
Dishwasher looks clean, but it's not. Gunk can build up in hidden parts of your dishwasher. Finish Dishwasher Cleaner removes grease and limescale. For 2 times better cleaning of your dishwasher, try Finish.
Caring makes you do uncommon things, like looking after Frank, a dog-shaped wrecking ball.
Mum called and it's really urgent.
Caring makes HCF do uncommon things too, like putting our members' health first, because we're Australia's largest not-for-profit health fund.
Protein supports muscle development. Nutrigrain, one of the highest protein cereals.
My property portfolio is protected by Terry Shear. I wouldn't trust anyone else.
As a first-time investor, Terry Shear provides the security I need.
You've got to be with Terry Shear. It's a no-brainer.
Call Terry Shear or go online.
A few days ago, James had neck pain. Then he discovered Voltaren ML Gel. It relieves pain 2 times faster and reduces inflammation. Voltaren, the joy of movement.
But to do, all this here's got to be painted again. Gee. I lowered all my door frames by 2 feet, just as an epic reminder that Aldi are having their special buys.
You can't miss that.
Hey, precisely.
Turn your doorway into an epic reminder for this Saturday and get an electric oven for $249, a flatbed inverter microwave oven for $149, and a stainless steel dishwasher for $349. Only at Aldi.
What would you like to pay for your room tonight?
$150, $120 or $99. It's the same room with the same service, just different prices. It's really up to you. Well, nobody ever asks you this at the hotel reception, do they? But this is exactly what Trivago does for you. Trivago often shows you the price if you book directly with the hotel, as well as prices from more than 200 different websites. Trivago just compares. The choice is up to you. Hotel Trivago.
Oh, I've been waxing.
Care about your car? Get into Repco for 30% off this weekend. Auto Club members only. Conditions apply. Repco. It starts with the parts.
You're watching 7's 4 p.m. Sydney News, and this is the view from Terrigal on the state's central coast. Right now, it's 28 degrees. The former US police officer Mohamed Noor, accused of fatally shooting Sydney woman Justine Damon-Ruszczyk, has testified in court. It's the first time he's spoken publicly, having remained silent since her death almost 2 years ago. US correspondent Paul Caddick has the story.
Almost 2 years since he shot and killed Justine Damon-Ruszczyk, ex-cop Mohamed Noor has today broken his silence, giving evidence at his murder trial here in Minneapolis, telling the court of that night in his police car when his partner suddenly yelled out he saw a woman with blonde hair and a pink T-shirt raise her right arm, and he opened fire, saying he didn't wait because he feared for his partner's life, saying once he realised he'd shot an unarmed civilian, it felt like his whole world came crashing down. Noor has testified about his police training, where he was taught to protect himself and his partner and deal with threats from inside their police cars, and that in one training scenario he ran into a scene without assessing it and was shot. Asked by his lawyer if you don't do your job correctly, you get killed, he replied yes. That got a reaction from Justine's fiancé Don Damon and her father John Ruszczyk watching in the public gallery, who looked at one another and shook their heads. His lawyer also asking Noor about his counter-ambush training. Noor saying the most important thing he learned was actions are better than reactions. If you're reacting, it's too late, he said, and you die. Noor got emotional talking about a training scenario where you learn to trust your partner to protect you, saying as long as your partner is safe, you can shoot out of the squad car in any direction. Noor opened fire on Justine as she approached their vehicle that night in 2017, shooting across his partner who was in the driver's seat. With testimony, their car had been slapped, but there's no forensic evidence Justine ever touched the vehicle. Earlier, a use of force expert told the court Noor was in no way justified in opening fire on Justine as she came up to their vehicle that night. The judge also rejected a last-minute move by Noor's lawyers to have the charges against him dismissed. Mohamed Noor faces more questions tomorrow. His second-degree murder charge carries a maximum penalty of up to 40 years jail. At least 5 people have been killed as violent storms unleash floods and tornadoes across America's south. Destructive winds have left behind a trail of destruction in Texas, levelling homes and uprooting 100-year-old trees. A powerful tornado also hit a town in the state of Louisiana. The governor's declared a state of emergency. Former US Vice President Joe Biden has announced he'll join the presidential race for the 2020 election. Senator Biden, who was Vice President to Barack Obama, says his candidacy will fight for the soul of the US.
If we give Donald Trump 8 years in the White House, he will forever and fundamentally alter the character of this nation, who we are, and I cannot stand by and watch that happen.
Biden will be going up against 19 other Democratic candidates. Still ahead on 7's Afternoon News, the reaction from parents after the release of strict new guidelines on kids' screen time. And in sport, the big injury blow for the heart and soul of the Roosters.
Tonight on 7 News with Michael Usher.
Violence at a Fraser Anning campaign event. Prince William meets Christchurch terror survivors and fighting the flu the natural way.
Tonight on 7 News at 6.
The true courage of one horse that inspired an army. Be brave! War Horse. Tonight on 7.
This is food freedom. The freedom to order the same thing every Saturday night. To change your dinner plans. I'm vegan! To be too busy to cook. Order what you want, where you want, when you want. Deliveroo. Food freedom.
But to do, all this here's got to be painted again. I lowered all my door frames by 2 feet, just as an epic reminder that Aldi are having their special buys.
You can't miss that.
Hey, precisely.
Turn your doorway into an epic reminder for this Saturday and get an electric oven for $249, a flatbed inverter microwave oven for $149, and a stainless steel dishwasher for $349. Only at Aldi.
What are we going to do for the April school holiday?
Duh, we're going to the Luna Park Sydney Fun Fest.
Yay, it's back!
With free entry and unlimited fun all day, every day of the April school holidays.
And there's a new ride.
Yes, Volare. We can fly through the sky.
Fantastic.
And there's extra holiday rides too.
Don't forget the show bags and tasty treats.
It'll be the best ever.
You know it.
Just for fun.
Tickets for unlimited rides from $15 online.
That's up to 40% off.
Show me the fun.
Luna Park Sydney Fun Fest.
Buy online and save at lunaparksydney.com.
Save dollars, make sense at Chemist Warehouse. Our fabulous Mother's Day catalogue sale's on now. Get Healthy Care Royal Jelly 365 capsules, $28.59. Swiss Odorless High Strength Wild Fish Oil, 1500 milligrams, $13.99. Any Basisto Solution 500 ml or 250 ml from $6.39. And Alpha Care Yellow Soothe Cream 500 ml, $10.99. For the biggest range at the lowest price, shop at Chemist Warehouse and stop paying too much.
Jess lives in poverty and doesn't fit in at school. Without help, it will get worse. 1 in 6 Australian children like Jess need your support. By becoming a sponsor through the Smith family, you can give a child like Jess school essentials and access to life-changing learning programs. Please sponsor an Australian child today. Search the Smith family.
Hola!
Some rides are better than others. Compare your usual rideshare app with Ola. When it comes to the number of cars, they've both got heaps. Probably the same drivers too. Same so far. But when you arrive, why pay the usual when Ola works out way cheaper? And with Ola, drivers keep more of the fare, so they want your ride. Need a ride? Download the Ola app and get 50% off rides for the first 2 weeks.
Hola!
Same, but better.
Parents are being warned to limit the amount of time their children spend watching screens. New guidelines from the World Health Organization have recommended strict limits for young kids interacting with phones, tablets and the TV. Jessica Ridley has more.
Well, there's been plenty of mixed reaction from parents today, told by the World Health Organization to cut down on screen time for young children. The tough new guidelines recommend babies under 12 months have no sedentary exposure to TV, smartphones or tablets, and that kids between 1 and 5 years old have their time limited to under an hour a day with 3 to 4 hours of physical activity. A recent report finds Australian parents allow their kids to spend almost 4 hours a day in front of a screen.
I think it absolutely escalates pressure on parents. I think that there's absolutely no way to formulate an exact minute or hour per family. Every child's different.
Researchers here agree too much screen time in the early years deprives kids of other activities which are crucial to their cognitive and social development. But they also admit technology can be beneficial. It's just finding a healthy balance.
So they're saying in these particular guidelines, less sedentary behaviour and more active behaviour. And that's good, that's good. But what it hasn't done is it hasn't acknowledged that there are any benefits to using technology by young children at all. And I think that's a problem.
The key piece of advice to parents trying to wean their children off devices is to not offer it as a reward for good behaviour.
Sport now with Matty Carmichael. And Matt, some tough love for the Roosters.
Yeah, not a lot of sympathy for Jake Friend from Cooper Cronk today, Sally. Good afternoon, everyone. There's a blow to the NRL Premiership favourites with confirmation of a ruptured biceps for Roosters co-captain Jake Friend. He starred in the Anzac Day win over the Dragons and after 12 years in the NRL was on the verge of a State of Origin debut for Queensland.
Yeah, upsetting, disappointing, all those things. But sometimes in football club you need to take the cold, hard approach and remove the emotion and, just get on to the next job.
Ben Hunt had scans on his shoulder injury today. In Melbourne last night, a cruel late penalty cost the Warriors victory over the Storm.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Yeah, disappointing.
After the levelling penalty goal, Brodie Koff's field goal gave the Storm their 6th win from 7 games. The West Tigers travelled north for the game against the Titans in Tamworth tomorrow afternoon. Robbie Farah has overcome the concussion he suffered in the humiliating loss to Parramatta. Michael Maguire is demanding a response.
Definitely hurt that one, but look, it's about moving forward. You bounce up and down throughout a season, but that one there we definitely got a few lessons from.
The Tigers crossed paths with the Sharks at the airport. Cronulla take on the Broncos at Suncorp Stadium tomorrow night. The Giants are keeping the Swans guessing before tomorrow night's AFL derby. Phil Davis did not train with the team on the SCG today, but only 6 days after an ankle sprain, they say he's still a chance to line up on Buddy Franklin.
No, he's not 100% over the line yet, but he has surprised us in a really good way.
They say Toby Green is like a caged lion waiting for his first game since round 1. Kurtley Beale is planning something special for the Waratahs' first game at the new Bankwest Stadium in Parramatta. They host Durban's Sharks tomorrow night at the ground. Mitch Moses and the Eels opened with their big win over the Tigers on Easter Monday.
Hopefully it's a bit of a marquee moment for us to be able to put on a really special performance for all rugby fans.
Israel Folau's absence has forced Beale's return to fullback away from his preferred inside centre. Shane Watson has announced his retirement from the Big Bash to concentrate on playing 2020 cricket overseas. In the IPL this morning, Chris Lynn was bowled for a duck. Steve Smith was knocked over for 2, but his Rajasthan Royals defeated Kolkata by 3 wickets with 4 balls to spare. That's something to dance about. That's a new side of the former Aussie captain alongside his English teammate Ben Stokes. Paddy Mills and the San Antonio Spurs are still alive in the NBA playoffs.
Mills on the drive. Mills at the left hand.
The Spurs won Game 6 against the Nuggets, 120-103 in San Antonio today. It's 3-all in their first round series. They go to Denver for a Game 7 decider. A rare weather event in Bass Strait known as the 50-year storm is delivering pumping surf at Bells Beach, but with huge waves comes huge risk.
Huge section starting to open up, and he ejects. He was going for a make there, and that was insane.
Newcastle's Ryan Callanan is through to the quarters, along with fellow Aussie Jacob Wilcox. John Florence defeated Owen Wright to set up a dream quarter-final against world champion Gabriel Medina. Steph Gilmore bowed out in the quarterfinals of the women's event. Just back to Steve Smith dancing, Sally. They pay you what they do in the IPL. You do whatever you're told, I think.
Well,
yeah, no doubt.
Sometimes you do. Thanks for that, Matt. This afternoon's top stories are next, including a former police officer faces court charged with multiple child sex offences. Also, the superfruit, which can help you fight off the flu. And where's the safest place to sit in the car? Next, the new study with surprising results.
We've made us.
We're ready. Bring it on.
What a moment. What an achievement. One of you will be the My Kitchen Rules champion.
The My Kitchen Rules Grand Final. After the premiere of House Rules. Sunday on 7. Pork! Pork!
When you reach for pork roast, who knows where you'll end up? Get some pork on your fork.
The sale is back at Domain. Up to 60% off big bedding brands. Take a further 10% off Sleepmaker sale prices. Save on bedroom furniture plus bonus local delivery. So much more in store. Last chance. The sale ends Monday at Domain.
I don't get it. What is this thing? Should I pre-rinse?
It's not your fault. Try a new tablet. Switch to Fairy Platinum. With triple action, it beats Finish Quantum cleaning stuck on food on the first wash.
Today's help? Are we there yet cover? Get free roadside assistance with any new NRMA comprehensive car insurance policy. Call us on 13 NRMA.
Rush into Spotlight for our mighty sale. All Mystic Velvet Isla curtains 50% off. 40% off Riley Room Darkening Curtains by Gummerson. Platinum Sun Out and Platinum Day Night Roller Blinds 50% off. Exclusions apply. Rush into Spotlight now.
Loving that rosehip glow? Take that radiance to the next level with Nature's Way Beauty Rosehip Tablets. Enhancing skin firmness and elasticity, skin regeneration and collagen formation. Nature's Way Beauty Rosehip on sale now.
The Caravan Camping Holiday Super Show starts April 30 for 6 big days at Rosehill Racecourse. You could win an off-road camper trailer by Mars Campers valued at over $17,000. Visit supershow.com.au.
With thousands of Australian women joining every week, why not see who RSVP can discover for you? Start your next chapter with RSVP.
There's a fair go for those who have a go.
Scott Morrison cut $14 billion from public schools.
A fair go for those who have a go.
He cut funding for students with disability.
A fair go for those who have a go.
And handed billions extra to rich private schools. If that's your idea of a fair go, Mr Morrison, it's time for you to go. Authorised by C. Haythorpe for the Australian Education Union, Melbourne.
Prince William has delivered a message of hope to survivors of the Christchurch mosque attacks, and it's been revealed a Sri Lankan bomber who studied in Melbourne was the focus of an Australian terror investigation. A police officer who used to lecture students about cyber safety was today hit with further child sex abuse charges. The 43-year-old walked in and out of his court appearance, a free man, on bail as he fights the claims made against him. Evan Batten has the latest.
Well, today's court appearance was actually both brief and procedural as Senior Constable Dean Michael Perkins faced Penrith Local Court today, having been granted Supreme Court bail back in January after serving 3 months on remand right over Christmas since his arrest in October last year. And now 8 fresh child sex charges have been levelled against the officer with some 16 years experience in the force. You sorry for what you've done? The thing that people are going to find hard is that you're not showing any remorse or... Perkins was suspended from the force immediately after his arrest. His family today pleading his innocence.
Out of the road.
Well, here's your chance to put your side of it.
No, you can't do that. It's before the court. The court will have its day, justice will be served.
The allegations cover an 11-year period over the time where he lectured in several Western Sydney high schools and some in southern Sydney, all giving high school students advice on cyber safety. Now with these extra charges that have been laid today, it takes it to a total of 23 he is now facing. This matter will return to court in June.
2 men say they were assaulted with metal poles before being carjacked in Greenacre early this morning. The stolen car was later found torched around the corner close to where the attack took place. Andrew Denny has the latest.
Well, it was just before 3 o'clock this morning here in Greenacre that 2 men say they were attacked and carjacked. They've told police that they were set upon by a group of 8 to 10 men who beat them with metal bars before taking their car and leaving. The 2 victims had to be taken to hospital, one with broken ribs, the other with bruising and cuts to his head. The stolen car was torched around the corner just a few hundred metres from where these attacks took place. Security cameras captured the station wagon being driven to where it was set on fire, being followed by a second car. Now, while police are calling these 2 men victims, they do have reason to strongly doubt their story.
They were certainly assaulted, potentially by metal poles. However, those 2 people are known to police, and the entirety of that incident is somewhat suspicious.
The pair are recovering in hospital as police work to figure out exactly what happened here this morning.
A man who accidentally shot and killed an innocent bystander in Sydney's southwest has been jailed for up to 14 years. Matthew Russell opened fire in a suburban street, a stray bullet from his gun fatally wounding a father who was sitting in his car. Nina Stevens was in court.
Qusay Al-Manawi died in March 2016 after being shot in the head. Today, the man who killed him learned his fate. It was in this Heckenberg street where Al-Manawi was in his car near his home and about to pick up his mother when shots rang out. Matthew Russell was involved in a dispute with two brothers. Al-Manawi just happened to be in the same place. Russell fired multiple shots, but one of them hit the father of one as he sat in the driver's seat.
The shot was fired in circumstances where there was a very real risk of death or serious injury to an innocent bystander. Tragically, that risk came home.
Al-Manawi's family was left devastated.
I just want a brother. I'm the one who's gone now.
Russell's supporters left court, staying silent. Now aged 31, Russell claimed he fired the shots that day in self-defence during the confrontation with the brothers. He pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Russell will spend a maximum 14 years behind bars, but taking into account time already served, he'll be eligible for parole in 2026.
A new study out of Sydney has found eating elderberries could help fight the flu. Researchers found elements of the superfruit could help battle symptoms such as fever, cough or sore throat. Amber Ladler reports.
For years, elderberry has been considered a natural remedy for cold and flu symptoms. But now a team here at the University of Sydney have identified exactly how this antioxidant-rich berry helps fight influenza. Researchers added a potent concentrate of elderberry to flu cells before, during and after they were infected with the flu virus and found it had a direct antiviral effect.
It can directly inhibit viral entry and replication in our cells and can also strengthen our immune response to influenza virus.
The news comes as the country braces for another horror flu season. Already in most parts, a significant rise in the number of cases of influenza has been recorded, with children and the elderly among those most at risk. The government says there'll be more flu jabs available this year than ever before, with most medical centres expecting to be restocked with the vaccine by mid-next week.
This year's vaccine is specially for the strains that are circulating this year. It was chosen only 6 months ago and it took them several months to make the vaccine.
Health authorities recommend a yearly flu jab for anyone aged 6 months or older, ideally in May to ensure protection during the peak flu period of June to September. The advice is to call your GP and book your vaccination in advance to avoid being turned away.
Passengers in the back seat of a car may not be as safe as those travelling up front during a crash, according to a new study. Researchers are now calling on car makers to shift their focus to prevent serious injuries.
3, 2, 1.
It is the worst-case scenario. Now, researchers are finding the backseat is often more dangerous in a front impact crash than the driver's seat.
Automakers have done an excellent job of improving safety in the front seat, but the rear seat just hasn't kept pace.
The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety is now calling on automakers to shift their focus. Researchers studied 117 crashes where backseat passengers were killed or seriously injured. The top injury, chest trauma, followed closely by head injury.
Our goal is to encourage automakers to address what we see as a deficiency in the rear seat.
The Institute already launched a new series of backseat collision tests and points out child car seats are safe in the back seat in most scenarios. The best advice hasn't changed. Always buckle up and keep in mind newer models often equal safer rides when it matters most.
Prince Harry has made a surprise appearance at an Anzac Day service in London. He was all smiles as he arrived with his sister-in-law, the Duchess of Cambridge, dispelling rumours of a royal rift. Laurel Irving has more.
Officially, we were only expecting the Duchess of Cambridge. The palace has now revealed that Prince Harry did plan to attend the service all along, as he's done many times in the past, but didn't want to make it official on the order of service, just in case it clashed with the birth of his first child. So we found out at about an hour before the service that Prince Harry was in fact going to attend, perhaps suggesting that Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, his wife, isn't due quite as soon as we all thought. We expected it would be any day now. But but clearly there were no signs of impending labour when he chose to attend the service. There was a nice moment too when he arrived at the service with his sister-in-law, the Duchess of Cambridge, and they were sharing a joke and a laugh. Clearly, if there is any feud, as the tabloids have been speculating in recent months, it's not between those two.
Next in 7's afternoon news, we meet Leggy, the emu with a big appetite. Also, the new James Bond cast is revealed with an Oscar-winning star set to play the villain. And at 17 in Katoomba, the forecast soon.
Brace yourself, Sydney. A cataclysmic event is set to shake our city to the core. Saturday, it's Sydney versus Sydney when these heavyweights battle. Oh, what a trap! Who will win? The Sydney Showdown. Saturday, live on 7.
Plantur 39 speaks frankly about hair fall. From the age of 40, the female bodily constitution changes. Thinning hair is the consequence. With Plantur 39, things are looking up again. The caffeine shampoo for hair over the age of 40.
Where are you off to?
Can we just go around the corner?
Yeah, no worries.
A little goes a long way at Macca's. Grab a double beef and bacon meal deal for lunch or dinner for just $5.
Experience a whole new world of sleep and comfort with Pliga beds and chairs. Enjoy 20% off our entire range with display stock up to half price. Live life with Pliga. 1800 648 648.
New Nivea Q10 Power contains 10 times more creatine to reduce fine lines and wrinkles or your money back. Make the most of today and tomorrow with new Q10 Power, our most powerful Q10 ever from Nivea.
Caring made you dress in the fashion equivalent of a medieval torture device. Caring makes HCF do uncommon things too, like upgrading you to our top cover for 90 days if you end up in hospital from an accident.
SafeWork New South Wales can help you start a conversation about safety.
Renee, stop! Step away!
Hey, Terry. Thanks.
Because no matter what you do, safety starts with you.
My perfect bowl, rice bubbles, ice cold almond milk.
So I put in my chocolate milk first.
Rice milk on the rice bubbles.
Rice bubbles and orange juice.
Is that a thing? Yeah, each to their own, and happy eating.
I'll have the 24-year-old single malt. Thank you.
Distinguished choice, sir. How would you like it?
With your finest cola.
Don't follow a smart choice with a sloppy one. When you choose the Samsung Galaxy S10, choose Optus.
Hola!
Some rides are better than others. Compare your usual rideshare app with Ola. When it comes to the number of cars, they've both got heaps. Probably the same drivers too. Same so far. But when you arrive, why pay the usual when Ola works out way cheaper? And with Ola, drivers keep more of the fare, so they want your ride. Need a ride? Download the Ola app and get 50% off rides for the first 2 weeks.
Hola!
Same, but better.
You may think Liberal leader Scott Morrison hasn't done very much, but that's not true. He's done plenty. He spent every waking hour trying to give the banks a $17 billion tax cut, cut $14 billion from schools, cut $700 million from local hospitals. He supported cuts to penalty rates, voted to raise the pension age to 70 and cut the pension. And Scott Morrison voted against the Banking Royal Commission 26 times. When it comes to what matters to middle and working class Australians, Scott Morrison is out of touch and only for the top end of town. Authorised by N. Carroll ALP Canberra.
Holy moly.
The greatest night of television is here. Sunday. And all next week, you don't have to be on the chase to win. 70,000. New The Chase from Monday at 5 on 7.
A rogue emu called Leggy, caught roaming on the streets of Brisbane's south side, has undergone surgery. X-rays showed an unusually large number of foreign objects inside its stomach. The RSPCA says it's common for emus to swallow stones.
However, this bird had roofing screws, rivets, bits of glass and a number of other items that certainly shouldn't be in the animal's stomach.
Oh dear, the owner didn't have a permit to keep the big bird as a pet. It's hoped Leggy will soon return to the wild. The cast of the new James Bond movie has finally been revealed, and there are some new faces being added to the mix. Daniel Craig will return as the famous British super spy, with Oscar winner Rami Malek set to play the villain.
Are you ready to get back to work?
With pleasure.
It's taken 4 years, and in the new film we now know James Bond has retired to the Caribbean island of Jamaica. The filmmakers building him a new house from where he will of course soon be called back into action. Today Daniel Craig was joined by other returning cast members like Naomi Harris and new additions including Lashana Lynch and director Kerry Fukunaga to insist the delays to the new film, it's now not out until next April, were not major.
There's an awful lot goes on in a large movie, and things happen. There are delays in certain things, and it's, you know, but we're ready, and we're ready to go now, and we'll start shooting on Sunday. So, you know, all that's behind us.
About to show these boys how we do it.
Lashana Lynch, who's in this year's female-led Captain Marvel, says the Bond film she's joining will reflect women today.
It's definitely a progressive time at the moment, and I think the franchise is rolling with exactly what women should be represented as in 2019.
You look like an angry lizard. You've got to make an impression, darling.
In fact, Rami Malek made such an impression on the Bond filmmakers. Today it was confirmed the Oscar-winning star of Bohemian Rhapsody will play the Bond villain. And speaking in a video message, he says he intends to cause 007 problems.
I promise you all, I will be making sure Mr. Bond does not have an easy ride of it in this, his 25th outing.
I understand 00s have a very short life expectancy.
He's made it to a record 13 years in the role. The as-yet unnamed Bond 25 will, however, be Craig's last.
Sydney 6 p.m. News is coming up with Michael Usher. Hello to you, Michael. What are you working on in the newsroom?
Hi there, Sally. Here's what we have for you tonight. Fraser Anning has washed his hands of responsibility after a violent scuffle broke out at one of his campaign events in Cronulla. A 19-year-old man, believed to be a supporter of the controversial senator, has been charged. Counter-terrorism police in Melbourne are remaining tight-lipped after swooping on a suspect near a church. We'll cross live for the latest at 6. Also, exclusive further charges laid against a former police officer accused of multiple child sex offences. Premier Gladys Berejiklian has been laying low since her election victory, but now she's on a PR push in the bush. On the banks of the Darling River, the Premier is promising to help our drought-affected West. And Sydney researchers are throwing their weight behind an ancient flu-fighting remedy. Do you need that in your medicine cabinet this winter? We'll tell you all about that. So, Sally, that story, plenty more, of course, in Sydney 7 News tonight at 6.
OK, see you then. Thanks very much. It's time to get a check now on Sydney's traffic.
Good afternoon, Marina Ivanovic here in the MTA New South Wales Skytrackers 7. If you're heading through Darlinghurst today, we've got William Street completely closed heading eastbound near Darlinghurst Road. It's due to a police operation. Diversions are in place. And just having a look through Granville now for Woodville Road, as you can see, traffic is crawling in both directions. Who can you trust to repair or service your vehicle? Start with the MTA. Their members have been servicing motorist needs for over 100 years. Visit mtansw.com.au.
Time to check finance now with James Howe at CommSec. Good afternoon to you, James. How did the local share market finish the week?
Good afternoon, Sally. It was a bit of a flat finish on Friday, the ASX 200, having another disrupted week due to public holidays. Today, up around 3 points to 6,385, still hovering around the best levels that we've seen since the start of 2008, so more than 11 years now. But today, what we saw were the resources really weighing the most. So energy producers falling, and also miners, particularly Fortescue Metals down more than 5%. BHP also losing around 1.5% today. We saw Flight Centre, one of the worst, down nearly 12% after announcing a profit downgrade for the full year. But we saw defensives doing quite well, the likes of our utilities, healthcare, and also the property stocks doing well. The Aussie dollar also lifting, buying around 70.3 US cents.
OK, thank you very much, James Towell there at CommSec for us this afternoon. Next in 7's afternoon news, Sydney's weekend weather forecast with Angie Asmus.
I'm Sean.
I'm Lisa.
Twins, 15. Didn't come home after a night out. I want you to get down there, talk to the family.
I'm Detective Sergeant Armstrong.
This is Sean, my husband. This is Lisa, she's from the police. Jess can't find out.
You need to tell me the truth. You need to know where you were.
I was with you.
Sean Meredith remains our main suspect.
I had nothing to do with it, I'm the dad.
The stunning new event drama, The Bay, Wednesday after House Rules on 7.
At the Natural Cracker Company, we work with all natural ingredients to make delicious crispy crackers. Because when you use only the finest natural ingredients with absolutely nothing artificial, the irresistible flavours really shine through.
But to do, you know, all this here's got to be painted again. Gee. I lowered all my door frames by 2 feet, just as an epic reminder that Aldi are having their special buys.
You can't miss that.
Hey, precisely.
Turn your doorway into an epic reminder for this Saturday and get an electric oven for $249, a flatbed inverter microwave oven for $149, and a stainless steel dishwasher for $349. Only at Aldi.
Introducing the Law Barista coffee machine. Uniquely designed to brew 2 espressos or 1 double espresso. With our new double shot capsule. The new Law Barista coffee machine. Double shot, double pleasure.
Treat your home to a fresh new look with 25% off all lights at Beacon Lighting's Home Renovator Sale. Save 25% on new pendants, lamps, exteriors and more to brighten your home. Renovator Sale ends Sunday.
Australia, you've told us you want more for your money. So now you can upgrade your favourite Domino's pizza to extra large for just $3 more. And get 50% more pizza, 50% more toppings, 50% more to share at Domino's.
Terry Shear, Australia's leading landlord insurance specialist, can protect your property and rental income from just $1 a day.
My property portfolio is protected by Terry Shear. I wouldn't trust anyone else.
Call Terry Shear or go online.
This place is amazing. You've been here much? Many times. I love Japanese food, especially the way they do the avocado.
Don't follow a smart choice with a sloppy one. When you choose the Samsung Galaxy S10, choose Optus.
And all next week, you don't have to be on the chase to win.
70,000.
New The Chase from Monday at 5 on 7.
This weather report proudly brought to you by Bridgestone. You're in safe hands.
Where are you going today? To the front line, to our heroes, to the moments that touch us all. Anytime, all the time. We'll take you there. 7news.com.au. Happening now.
Angie Asmus is back now with the forecast. Hello again, Angie. How's the weekend shaping up?
Sal, good afternoon. Well, it will be a lot cooler. Not that today gave any indication of the change on the way. We've reached an unseasonable top of 29.5 degrees just before 2 o'clock this afternoon. That's a good 6 up on what we'd normally see at this time of year, following a low of 17.7. The reason? Warm westerly winds dragging heat right across from the interior. But tonight our focus turns to this cold front. Behind it, we have an icy pool of air which will surge north into our states. Tomorrow, those southwesterlies will be gusty and fuel some pretty big surf on our beaches as well. Now, around the nation tomorrow, Brisbane expecting another fine day with a top of 28 degrees. Canberra, though, will wake to a frosty morning, dipping to 0 overnight. Overcast for Melbourne, 17 degrees. Another cool one in Hobart, 16. Adelaide, fine with a top of 19 degrees. Different story in Perth, heading for a top of 28, and Darwin, sunny and 34. Back home, a chilly morning, 5 degrees forecast to get the day started at Katoomba, 8 for Camden. Top temperatures won't get past the high teens on the coast. Most suburbs will also remain fine, with just the very slight chance of a light coastal shower first thing tomorrow morning. For the city, 13 tonight, and after today's 29 degrees, 19's the forecast top tomorrow, much cooler. It will also be generally sunny all day. Now, for the week ahead, warming up again from Sunday under clear skies. Wednesday looking especially warm, 26 in the city, 27 in our west, with no showers expected until about Thursday. That's the latest weather. Sal, more coming up for you at 6 o'clock.
Thanks for that, Ange. SeaWorld's polar bear cub Mishka has celebrated her second birthday, enjoying a very fishy feast. She celebrated with Mum in true polar bear style, taking a dip and feasting on a birthday cake frozen to perfection. Mishka is still a little way off reaching her mother's height, but is growing very fast. And that's Sydney's 4 p.m. news for this Friday. Our next bulletin is 7 News at 6. I'm Sally Barry. I hope you have a great night.
sevennews.com.au. Happening now.
Oh my God! This is insane.
Holy moly.
I'm speechless.
We've made it. Well, this is the moment. We're ready. Bring it on.
It's honestly breathtaking.
This is something extraordinary. The biggest in House Rules history.
The future is here.
Oh my God.
Breathtaking.
It's beautiful.
I've never, ever seen anything like that.
Ever.
I'm speechless.
We're not just going to renovate, we're going to innovate.
The revolutionary new season.
Oh, look at that.
The premiere of House Rules.
The moment has arrived.
This is so real right now. We've always pushed ourselves to the limit.
What a moment. What an achievement.
Hey, Papa.
This is what grand finals should be.
Is that for Daddy?
We have worked so hard. We've given up so much. We have to win.
Come on! Did he drop it?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh my God!
Just moments from now, one of you will be the My Kitchen Rules champion.
It's here. The greatest night of television this